As cold as the relationship between Terence Crawford and Top Rank's Bob Arum, the biggest news in the sport this week had nothing to do with any fights being signed or announced. It had to do with the lawsuit that Terence Crawford filed in the state of Nevada against Bob Arum and Top Rank for breach of contract, misrepresentation, and damages. There's $4.5 million, which is at stake for one of the fights that never happened out of the 6 that were under the 3-year contract extension, as well as a $900,000 Spence bonus. And Mark, that's the basis of the lawsuit, but there's a lot more to delve in when we look at this legal filing.
In October 2019, Terence Crawford signed to fight Egis Kavalauskas. In order to get him to take that fight, Top Rank agreed to offer him an Errol Spence fight by the end of the next calendar year, December 31st, 2020. So, as you said, this is a breach of contract suit. So legally, there were basically 2 questions. Was Terence Crawford offered a real opportunity for the Spence fight before the end of that year? And did Top Rank offer him a sufficient number of fights, that would be 6, my count, over the life of that contract? Of course, no one's talking about the breach of contract, and everyone's talking about the allegations of racism.
That's right. And now, Tim, you worked with Top Rank during the most lucrative portion of your career. So I really have to ask you, what was your reaction when you heard about the lawsuit from Terence Crawford?
You know what? I was shocked. But, in all my years that I've been working with Top Rank and continue to work with Top Rank, I have never, ever been mistreated in this fashion at all. Point blank, period. And I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. So, Mark, there's fights that were in the pipeline for Terence Crawford. Do you ever see him fighting under the Top Rank banner again?
I've seen Arum and Don King do business after the legal equivalent of nuclear wars, but I don't see Top Rank promoting another Terence Crawford fight. The real question is Josh Taylor. If he moves up to 147 and becomes Crawford's mandatory at the WBO, what happens then? Well, 2 considerations. Crawford just fought his WBO mandatory against Sean Porter. In the case of a purse bid, I just don't think the way things are right now that Top Rank would bid on a Crawford fight.
All right, well, Bob Arum and Top Rank responded to the lawsuit in this manner. Bob said, Bud Crawford's lawsuit is frivolous and that his vile accusations of racism are reckless and indefensible. I have no doubt the courts will see Crawford's case for the malicious extortion attempt that it is. In the end, it'll be the courts that decide on the legal merits of this case that is in the courts in the state of Nevada. And when we return here at Turning Stone.
Happy New Year. For those who I haven't been able to say it to, we are back full time. So I figured, this is the first major topic I am covering in the year of 2022. And look, it's January the 17th. First, let me just get this out of the way. I have the documents right here. Printed them out for you. Can you see? Let me see. Printed them out for you. We're going to set the mood. And to be honest, there's a lot of shit in here. Now, luckily, I'm no stranger to legal documents. So we're going to comb through this in the course of about another, 55 minutes or so. If you come back tomorrow, you want to get to the nitty gritty, the meat of things, I'll have timestamps. I'll have time after I'm done the video to do some editing, take out the beginning. But we do have some other topics we got to discuss in this 60 minutes, 55 minutes. Got my show notes here. So, of course, we got to talk about Joe Smith Jr. Now, these are all brief topics. I can send it to you guys if you want. In fact, what I'm going to do is I got to scan it and then put it into a PDF file, and then I'll turn it into a link. How's that sound? So we're trying some new things this year to be more thorough, you know? This is the first time in, I'm going to say since about maybe 2014, where I'm able to actually start the year off productive in boxing, you know, like doing some really good things, you know? And we're going to hit 100,000 subscribers this year. So, and another announcement. And I've been, I was supposed to do this before, but we're going to be streaming during fights now, providing live commentary. As I dabbled in it, but yes, we're going to be doing that starting this weekend. We did Joe Smith versus Steve Geffrard last week. We're doing Gary Russell versus Mark Magsayo this weekend. Next weekend, we're doing Don King's fight. He's got a Zoom call tomorrow. Don King's card with Tabasu Michunu versus Ilunga Makabu. Boom. Not to say their names. And then February the 5th, we're going to be doing a lot of streams, bro. So, we've caught up with the times. And now what I'm able to do is I'm able to edit out my post-fight videos from the stream. So you guys are now a part of my post-fight videos for those who watch with me during fight night. So basically what I'll be doing is, as soon as the bell rings, I'll be starting a whole new video. The final bell, somebody gets knocked out, then, take that 15, 20 minutes or however, and that's an individual video right there. Work smart, not hard. So I got all my documents here. So we got to talk about, before we get to this 23-page Terence Crawford versus Top Rank Incorporated lawsuit here, because I haven't had a chance to really comb through things. But we have the documents. So here's our show notes for today. Take a time out, like the video. I am really, really upset that YouTube. Did we already talk about this? That this is a show for mature audiences. So we do curse. We do have very off-color, immature humor sometimes. All right. But at the end of the day, we get the job done. Also remember, because we're about to start talking about racism and shit. It's Martin Luther King Day. So I'm letting you know right now. I'm giving you my own personal opinion. There's going to be times, there's going to be some videos you're going to watch. Wow, we agree. This dude is all right. There's going to be some videos you're going to watch like this fucking guy's an idiot. He's a fucking maniac. I hope he's getting help. Is he on the sauce? Is he on the bottle? Is he doing, meth? It's going to be some days you're going to be like, this guy's an asshole. So we're going to delve nitty gritty into the race shit. You see what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about race. So I'm letting you know, I am a Negro. All right. Anyway, so here's what we have on the list today. Joe Smith, Steve Geffrard recap. I was having a hard time saying his last name. Update on Beterbiev and rank 168 and 175. Canelo versus Charlo, or Canelo's mystery opponent. Who's that going to be? Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. Close, pretty much done. 130-pound breakdown. Gary Russell versus Mark Magsayo preview. Short preview because we're going to delve deeper into that since it's fight week as the week goes on. Terence Crawford, Bob Arum lawsuit. Play the Mark Kriegel clip. I played that already. Reference Dan Rayfield's Substack, which I've subscribed to, $5.99 a month. Estrada versus Chocolatito 3, March the 5th. Rungvisai versus Caldress, February the 5th. Munguia versus Ballard, February 19th. Jose Ramirez versus Pedraza. I didn't put the date. What date is that? And then the Don King pay-per-view. He's charging $50 for that shit on his dodgy-ass website. I'm not putting my prepaid debit card into his fucking dodgy-ass website. What was that? Okay, gotcha. Got my refund from Amazon. But anyway, let's jump right into things. So this is what we're going to do. We got 50 minutes left. In this 50 minutes, we're going to just shoot through the boxing topics of the week. And then the last half an hour, we got to go through this lawsuit. Once again, I have the documents here, all 23 pages. All 23 pages here. And I got to tell you, it's some shit up in here. It's some shit. So anyway, I did get a chance to, of course, if you haven't seen, watch Joe Smith defend his WBO 175-pound title against a late step-in and a Steve Geffrard. That was an ugly fight. I didn't like that fight. And, we live streamed during that fight. But I said, you know what? Stream during this fight. Even though ain't nobody going to watch or give a shit, shake the cobwebs off, it's bad when you don't even have showbiz streaming. So I was like, you know what? All right, I'm going to jump on here and stream. But it was a Top Rank on the ESPN card. You had Abraham Noah defeat some guy who I don't know how to pronounce his name in You know, regular B, C level card, you know. Oh, I'm going to pull up the documents on the screen too, by the way. I have my printed out lawsuit documents, but I'm going to pull them also up on the screen and go full screen. And then we're going to set the mood. I got the fire going, you know, so you can hear like the crisping of like the wood chips and shit. We're going to do a whole really rainbow type deal, you know. But anyway, let's go jump into the meat of things. Talk about the 175-pound division. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Also, down below in the description box, the WBC app powered by the Vive Network. Can I tell y'all a secret? Can I tell y'all a secret? I want to tell y'all a secret, but I can't. Because y'all, man, y'all got it. Y'all, listen, y'all ain't worth it. You are. I shouldn't have said that. So listen, Joe Smith Jr., WBO, 175-pound champion. He was supposed to fight this man right here, Callum Johnson, but Callum Johnson came down with the COVID. Anthony Yarde is number one, but he is not the WBO mandatory just yet. Now, this is what I'm going to do here. We're going to head over to ESPN Plus and listen to the post-fight interview from Joe Smith about basically him saying some weird shit like he would pick Canelo over fighting. Pick Bivol over fighting Canelo because Bivol had beating. I don't know. He was on some. I like Joe Smith, you know, common man. But that performance, even though he get the stoppage, it was more so to me that Geffrard quit. Because it seemed like Joe could have stopped it whenever. I don't know. It was a weird fight to me. But let me pull up this clip, the post-fight interview from Joe Smith. I should have had it already pulled up. I'm getting better, though. And to be honest, if Canelo was to fight one of the 175-pounders again, I think it would be Joe Smith. I don't think he would jump right into fighting Beterbiev. But this is what we heard during the broadcast, is that it's actually done, or not done, that they're working on the deal, and you might as well pretty much say that this is the way they're going, is that Artur Beterbiev, WBC and IBF 175-pound champion, is going to be taking on Joe Smith in the late spring, early summer. What did they say was going to happen at in Vegas? Or I believe they said New York. So that's pretty much already in talks. So hold on, let me pull up this clip here from ESPN Top Ranks, The State of Boxing. That is the post-fight show for the end of ESPN fights. Now, I don't like how they end the broadcast after the fight and don't show the post-fight interview. You got to watch the State of Boxing to watch the post-fight interview. What up, Patrick? I was WCW all the way. So once again, take your time, listen in, subscribe. Next on our list, for those who are just getting in, I'm not going to keep saying the same thing over and over, but we're going to go over in the last half hour of the show. We've been live now. I've been talking for the last 10, 15 minutes. We're going to be here. The show's going to be 60 minutes in total, maybe a little bit over. But we do have the Terence Crawford top rank lawsuit documents here. So we're going to go over that after we get through my list of boxing topics here. And yeah, we're going to deep dive into the whole racism thing. So let's listen to Joe Smith first, work our way through this, and go from there. This is what he said after he won on Saturday night, Top Rank on ESPN, defending his WBO 175-pound title.
Your first title defense. What did you learn about yourself and your opponent?
Hey, my opponent, Steve, thank you for making it here. And you put on a great show for all the fans watching. You know, he really brought it today. It was a great fight. As you can see, he's a great boxer and survivor. And, you know, I took my time, figured him out. I was trying to get him out of there early, but I realized he was very tough, and I wasn't going to be able to do that. So I tried to wait till the later rounds to really, you know, start throwing more combinations to pick him apart.
Were you surprised he was able to stand through the 4th, the 5th, the 6th?
Yeah, I know the furthest he's been is 8, 9 rounds, so I wanted to keep the pressure on him and take him out in the later rounds.
We know that you are talking about a unification with Beterbiev. We're talking about the Garden, late spring, early summer. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to get back in the gym, work on my craft, and Like I said, each and every time I get in the ring, I'm going to get better and better. And I believe the next time you see me, I'll be ready for anybody.
Would you take a detour to pick up a lottery ticket with Canelo?
Hey, if Canelo wants to come to 175 and fight me, I'm ready for him, man. That's the fight I want. You know, everybody would love to see that fight. It would be a big deal.
You said yesterday in the fighter meetings that if you had Beterbiev and they make that fight next, then when you beat Beterbiev, so you say, you wouldn't take Canelo after that. You'd want to go and clean everything up with Bivol. Is that right?
Yes, if I got Beterbiev next and beat him, I want Bivol next and unify all the belts, become the unified champ, and then take out the pound-for-pound king.
The Bivol fight really bugs you, doesn't it? I mean, you think you're a much better fighter now than you were when you faced him several years ago?
Yes, I believe I'm a much better fighter, and I believe everyone at home can see that. And I know next time I get him in here, I'll be the man with my hands up and all the belts around me.
Way to go, champ. Joe, you have a say in this too. Promoter Joe DeGuardia, what do you see happening next?
Well, look, you know, Joe wants the biggest and the best. That's what he's looking for. You know, he's told me he'll fight anybody. He wants the biggest. Beterbiev is out there. Canelo's out there. He's ready for all of them. So we're looking for the biggest ones.
All right, so we're going to hold you to that. All right? I want a big fight in the Garden.
That's where you got to be, Madison Square Garden.
Are you happy with your performance tonight?
What was that? Sorry.
Are you happy with your performance tonight?
Yeah, I would have liked to stay a little more sharper at points and a little more busy with my punches, but hey, I got the job done.
Yes, you did. Congratulations. Congratulations. Bernardo, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mark Kriegel.
Let's talk about the 175-pound division a little bit. Artur Beterbiev is the guy, WBC and IBF champion. By the way, the rankings, courtesy of my beautiful website. And thank you to my colleague Mikey for updating this monthly. The rankings are in accordance with the sanctioning bodies updated monthly: WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine. Artur Beterbiev just recently defeated Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown was the WBC mandatory. Right now, this Feng Long Ming dude may be the next mandatory ill. So, you know, I can understand why they want a unification next for Artur Beterbiev. Joe Smith, listen, I like Joe Smith. I really do. But I don't have him beating Artur Beterbiev. Now, we do know that Beterbiev can be dropped. You know, we do know that he's shown some vulnerabilities. And, well, if there's anybody that will probably have a chance, you know, you do have to give some respect to the common man, Joe Smith Jr. But I just don't think he can do it. Now, as far as the next guys in line, you have Gilberto Ramirez, Joshua Buatsi, Anthony Yard, Colin Smith. Then after that, there's a huge drop off in competition. That's it. That's it. So when you look at realistically, the top guys to me is Beterbiev and, you know, Gilberto Ramirez. Everybody else will lose to those guys, you know? So once again, they're supposed to be putting together Artur Beterbiev versus Joe Smith in the late spring on ESPN. That is what they're working on. Now, as far as Canelo's concerned, undisputed 168-pound champion, we don't know what's going on. The rumor is it, you know, maybe Jamal Charlo, but then Eddie Reynoso put out some information on ESPN down in Mexico that there may be an opponent that, you know, fans may not be happy with or whatever. I don't know. You know, will it be a celebrity? You know, will it be Jake Paul? Will it be Kamaru Usman? You know, will it be one of those like big money fights, spectacle fights that Canelo? Because, you know, right now, Canelo's about making a spectacle. You know, he's already undisputed champion. So, you know, we should be hearing something soon because here we are now on the halfway through, a little bit more than halfway through the month of January. Canelo wants to fight May the 5th. Usually, even when Mayweather will fight, we will hear something around like February or so, you know? So moving on, because we do have to, like I said, I'm like looking at all these 23 pages of this document and they got the small print. You know, we're going to have to read all that shit. Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson is supposed to be close. Let's go move down, look at the rankings over there at 130 pounds. Shakur Stevenson, WBC and Am I tripping? My bad. We got to fix that. Shakur Stevenson, the WBO champion, former WBO interim champion at 130 pounds. Oscar Valdez, the WBC. I want to fix that right now because it's triggering me. Chris Gobert and Robert Gutierrez are supposed to be fighting soon for that WBA championship, and it's supposed to be the only WBA champion to remain at 130 pounds since the WBO has been consolidating their belts. Kenichi Ogawa, would lose to Shakur Stevenson, Chris Colbert, and even Roger Gutierrez may have a chance to beat him. But right now, looking at it, Shakur Stevenson, when you look at the rankings for the WBO, remember, when you're not in a unification, you have to fight somebody ranked in the top 15 of your division. Now, looking at it, unless it's like somebody like a Lamont Roach, Abraham Noah, who fought on the Joe Smith versus Steve Geffrard undercard, he's down now fighting at 126 trying to get Navarrete. That's a whole different story. Hold on, let me see what they're saying.
With the jab from Geffrard out at distance. Well, this man right here, he's great at distance. He's great at counterpunching, and he counters often. That's one thing that Steve Geffrard didn't do. He didn't counter often. Well, I can tell you this. Bivol, that man right there, he will counter often, and often he counters. It's hard, it's heavy, it's accurate, and to the point.
But Mark, there may be a sense of motivation that maybe wasn't here tonight against.
Bad, the state of boxing is playing in the background, so I had to check in. So anyway, going back to the 130-pound division, there's nobody really of note outside of Oscar Valdez to me, unless he was to fight Robson Consacao, who a lot of people feel defeated or should have got the win over Oscar Valdez. But me, listen, Oscar Valdez still got that T shit to deal with. Remember, I don't think, let's go look at that interview. Like, that herbal tea thing, if you don't know, he failed a drug test for something that he said was an herbal tea. So you know how people can be on social media and in the boxing world go looking up and see like, wait a minute, I can't find that shit in no herbal tea. And then doesn't look good that he just was, I don't know. And I don't know. And I don't want to get into the steroid shit. You dig what I'm saying? But that shit is still suspect to me. And I feel that Shakur Stevenson team, should want VADA testing, me personally. And I think that in good faith, Oscar Valdez should enroll in VADA testing. That's just my opinion. But we can't spend too much time on that subject. This weekend, over on Showtime, you're going to have Gary Russell Jr. after a 2-year layoff. 2-year layoff, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, taking on a Mark Magsayo, Filipino WBC #1 contender. Gary Russell said during a Zoom call, which we had on the channel, is that he doesn't want to move up in weight unless he's guaranteed a title shot. He doesn't want to move up and wait in line, he's saying. But he does want to fight Tank Davis. He just keeps mentioning that. And I don't think that, for some reason, I feel like they're keeping them away. And me personally, since Rolly Romero's name has been somewhat cleared, even though court of public opinion is a motherfucker, people think he did that shit. I still think that Tank Davis and Rolly Romero is going to be revisited. I really think that's still going to be Tank Davis' next fight. So when you look at Gary Russell, if he was to defeat Mark Magsayo, then who's he going to fight? Ray Vargas? Leo Santa Cruz is still holding on to his belt. He's fighting on the undercard of Thurman versus Barrios February the 5th. And Leo Santa Cruz saying that he's going to be staying at 126 pounds. So him and Gary Russell, they got to do that. Between, I understand that Leo has had a layoff because of getting knocked out. But it's like, what are you in that division for if you're not going to unify? And Kiko Martinez is taking on Josh Warrington. That doesn't sit right with me at all. Josh Warrington and Mauricio Lara should be running that back. Mauricio Lara just had a fight announced, by the way. And Emmanuel Navarrete, well, not really sure what he's doing. He was lobbying to get Oscar Valdez. From my understanding, there was some type of talks. I don't know. So, moving on. Let's go back to the beginning. because I do really want to delve into these documents. So there's 23 pages here of this Terence Crawford top ranked lawsuit.
But it feels a lot colder than that.
Hold on.
As cold as the relationship between Terence Crawford and...
Hold on. All right, my bad. Can you hear me? There we go, we're good. So let's do it this way. My bad, I was muted. There are 23 pages here in this top rank Terence Crawford lawsuit. We're going to comb through it. You know, not going to be able to read it all, but I did, you know, get the gist of everything that's in here, and we're going to talk about it. We have the documents here, but first, I guess this is a good place to start with this segment from ESPN addressing the issue or the subject. Please take your time out, like the video, subscribe. All the links to my social media are down below in the description box. And if you would be so kind to take time out to download the WBC app powered by the Vive Network. Some big exclusive things that I promised last year, but they're actually coming. Now, I may tell you or spill the beans later on in the video, but let's jump right into things.
But it feels a lot colder than that. As cold as the relationship between Terence Crawford and Top Rank's Bob Arum. The biggest news in the sport this week had nothing to do with any fights being signed or announced. It had to do with the lawsuit that Terence Crawford filed in the state of Nevada against Bob Arum and Top Rank for breach of contract, misrepresentation, and damages. There's $4.5 million, which is at stake for one of the fights that never happened out of the 6 that were under the 3-year contract extension, as well as a $900,000 Spence bonus. And Mark, that's the basis of the lawsuit, but there's a lot more to delve in when we look at this legal filing.
In October 2019, Terence Crawford signed to fight Egis Kavalauskas. In order to get him to take that fight, Top Rank agreed to offer him an Errol Spence fight by the end of the next calendar year, December 31st, 2020. So, as you said, this is a breach of contract suit. So legally, there are basically 2 questions. Was Terence Crawford offered a real opportunity for the Spence fight before the end of that year? And did Top Rank offer him a sufficient number of fights, that would be 6, my count, over the life of that contract? Of course, no one's talking about the breach of contract, and everyone's talking about the allegations of racism.
That's right. And now, Tim, you worked with Top Rank during the most lucrative portion of your career. So I really have to ask you, what was your reaction when you heard about the lawsuit from Terence Crawford?
You know what? I was shocked, but you know, in all my years that I've been working with Top Rank and continue to work with Top Rank, I have never, ever been mistreated in this fashion at all. Point blank, period. And I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. So, Mark, there's fights that were in the pipeline for Terence Crawford. Do you ever see him fighting under the Top Rank banner again?
I've seen Arum and Don King do business after the legal equivalent of nuclear wars, but I don't see Top Rank promoting another Terence Crawford fight. The real question is Josh Taylor. If he moves up to 147 and becomes Crawford's mandatory at the WBO, what happens then? Well, 2 considerations. Crawford just fought his WBO mandatory against Sean Porter. In the case of a purse bid, I just don't think the way things are right now that Top Rank would bid on a Crawford fight.
All right, well, Bob Arum and Top Rank responded to the lawsuit in this manner. Bob said, Bud Crawford's lawsuit is frivolous and that his vile accusations of racism are reckless and indefensible. I have no doubt the courts will see Crawford's case for the malicious extortion attempt that it is. In the end, it'll be the courts that decide on the legal merits of this case that is in the courts in the state of Nevada. And when we return...
All right, let's dive into things here. So, complaint for number 1, it's 6. Breach of contract, fraudulent misrepresentation, negligent misrepresentation, breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, tortious breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. I don't know what that means. Introduction. Has anybody read this yet? Because, I mean, it's 23 pages, so I'm going to skim through it, and I'm going to pull this out right here. But the introduction, listen, it's kind of deep. So let's do it this way. Take your time out. Like the video. Subscribe. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to put the fireplace on, set the mood for some Reading Rainbow, and we're going to go from there. How's that? How's that sound? All right, here we go. So, for years, professional boxers and others in the sports world have called out Top Rank's owners Bob Arum for his disparate treatment of black boxers, including those very same black boxers that Top Rank is contractually obligated to promote. Because this is boxing, a sport with a checkered history, and because Arum is now dismissed as just a grumpy old white man, I've called him that too. Arum continues to make racist and bigoted statements and purposefully damage the reputations of black boxers without any consequences. This is generally because the affected boxers who are in long-term contracts with Top Rank fear that if they speak up, they will be placed on the sideline and not given the opportunity to fight during the life of their deal, which could be 5 to 7 years. Less than 2 weeks before the complaint was filed, Top Rank, through Arum, called the WBC interim heavyweight champion Dillian Whyte a black man greedy for requesting that he believes to be paid fair dollar amount to fight WBC lineal champion and Ring Magazine heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, a white man. Meanwhile, Top Rank's president, Todd the Buff, who was fully aware of Arum's racist statement and disparate treatment of black boxers, keeps his mouth shut, waiting to take the helm of Top Rank after Arum dies or retires. Since Top Rank and the Buff will not police themselves, do the right thing, and move forward as a responsible business in 2022, Crawford, who backs down to no one, will make them do so. By this lawsuit, Crawford shines a spotlight on the systematic racism that runs through Top Rank, Top Rank's complete inability to properly promote black fighters, and Top Rank, Arum, and the Buff's treatment of black fighters, including Crawford. Crawford is the preeminent welterweight professional boxer of his generation with a professional record of 38 wins, 29 by the way of knockout, 0 losses, 0 draws. He has held multiple world championships in 3 weight classes, including the World Boxing Organization WBO welterweight since 2018. Previously, Crawford held the WBO and Ring Magazine lightweight titles from 2014 to 2015, and the unified WBA, Super WBC, IBF, WBO, Ring lightweight titles between 2015 and 2017. Crawford became the first male boxer to simultaneously hold all 4 major world titles in boxing, WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, since Jermaine Taylor in 2005, and is one of only 6 male boxers in history to do so. As of January 2022, when this complaint was filed, Crawford is ranked as the world's 2nd best active pound for pound by ESPN, 3rd by the Boxing Writers Association of America, and 4th by the Transitional Boxing Rankings Board, the TBRB, BoxRec, and the Ring Magazine. He is also ranked as the world's best active welterweight by ESPN, BoxRec, and the Ring, and 2nd to the TBRB. Crawford was named Fight of the Year by the Boxers Writers Association of America in 2014 and ESPN in 2014. And in 2017, Crawford is also a proud black athlete. We're going to keep going. So, yeah, that's they're claiming racism. They're claiming racism. Now, this is just the introduction. So we're going to continue the introduction, and then we're going to go to the allegations. Yeesh. So don't mind me if I take a break or two, to smoke some pot, all right? So anyway, where are we at? Top Rank is a boxing promotional company founded and led by Arum, who was called out as a racist by numerous individuals in sports and entertainment industry, even as he has made millions of dollars exploiting individuals of color, including Crawford. It is painfully clear that Top Rank, and especially Arum, judges people on their race. Arum's sordid history with athletes of color, especially black fighters, and his bias favoring white and Latino fighters is well documented and known throughout the boxing world. Arum makes no secret of his deep-seated bias against black fighters. For example, he called legendary black boxer Floyd Mayweather soft and claimed that he shoots up cars, reinforcing an invidious racist stereotype with no basis in fact. He consistently mocks rival boxing promoter Al Heyman, who is a black man, and his relationship with black fighters, saying Heyman would steer a black fighter away from fighting Crawford out of sense of brotherhood. Arum famously profited from staging fights in South Africa during the height of apartheid. Wow, how come I don't know that word? Dismissing the brutal and bloody regime as mere politics and saying he did not care about it as long as he could make money. Most egregiously, Top Rank and Arum in the buff have allowed Arum's bias against black fighters to taint their treatment of Crawford, particularly once it became clear in Arum's mind that Crawford would not be re-signing with Top Rank at the end of his promotional rights agreement. Even during the life of the Crawford Top Rank promotional rights agreement, when Top Rank had contractual obligation to promote Crawford, Arum launched a smear campaign against Crawford to paint him as an unexciting, unprofitable fighter who could not draw viewers. In truth, Top Rank, a company with 0 black executives and only 2 or 3 black employees, refuses to admit that it simply does not care about, support, or know how to promote black fighters. Recently, while most businesses have become sensitive to issues of race and social justice, Top Rank has not. At a time when most businesses took steps to honor black lives in the wake of George Floyd murder, Top Rank actually refused to place the Black Lives Matter logo on the mats of its boxing rings. Instead of standing behind a black fighter such as Crawford, it publicly criticized him. Let me get my highlighter out here. Shit. How you guys doing? My bad. I'm still going to keep reading. You guys all right? Everybody cool? How's the sound? I haven't read the chat. Taking a little break. Little, give me a couple seconds to fucking highlight this. All right. Yeah, so it's still some more. We got a lot more to go. Let me turn the fireplace down some. Y'all like it? Turn it down some. The crackling. So, plus it's a little too close to the fire. It's hot. Time. So, tellingly, while Arum openly claims that Top Rank has lost money on Crawford's fights, he fails to disclose that when Top Rank needed a marquee fight to launch his ESPN Plus contract, it turned to Crawford, its biggest star, to fight Jeff Horn on the new platform. Crawford's successful bout against Horn on ESPN Plus was a ratings bonanza and has resulted in $1 million and millions of dollars to Top Rank. Top Rank's current smear campaign is deliberately aimed at punishing Crawford for possibly leaving Top Rank by making it harder for him to sign with a new boxing promoter. Tellingly, Arum has not subjected any of his white fighters to this kind of vicious, vengeful treatment. Clearly, Arum feels he is entitled to profit indefinitely off of Crawford and black fighters, and he will retaliate whenever they dare to assert their independence. In this action, Crawford seeks the right to right the wrongs inflicted on him by Top Rank. Top Rank has repeatedly breached its contracts with Crawford and in fact defrauded him into entering agreement in the first place. Even while Top Rank openly criticized Crawford, it pushed him into agreeing to fight Aglias Kavalauskas, not because that was best for Crawford's career, but because Top Rank needed to fulfill its obligations to ESPN. To induce Crawford to agree to the Kavalauskas bout, Top Rank fraudulently promised to arrange Crawford to fight Errol Spence, despite knowing that Top Rank could never deliver that promised match. Top Rank also failed to deliver the promised second bout under the parties' promotional rights agreement. Top Rank apparently had no qualms about lying to a black fighter or failing to respect its contractual obligations to him, though it would never treat one of its white fighters with such blatant disrespect. We're about to get to the specific allegations here. Let me see. Let me just do a little bit of combing. Because after the jurisdictional allegations, then it's going to be about the exact, it's quotes. Hold on. As I said, we got everything here. We got the whole 23-page. And forgive me if we have to do this in a couple of parts because we can only do this video for an hour. But no, we got plenty of time, actually. So, let me make sure I stay organized here. Got my, So after I read the allegations and some of the quotes, then we're going to take a little bit of time to talk about it. Basically, when we're halfway through the documents, and then we're going to go from there. So, damn it, I lost a page already. Go back. Okay, here we are. All right. Once Top Rank fraudulently induced Crawford to sign their agreements, Top Rank, through Arum, its CEO launched a calculated campaign to defame Crawford, preventing him. Let me start over. Once Top Rank fraudulently induced Crawford to sign their agreements, Top Rank, through Arum, its CEO, launched a calculated campaign to defame Crawford, preventing him from receiving the benefit of his bargain. Meanwhile, Top Rank's president, Todd the Buff, just sits back with a smile and watches from the sidelines as he counts the days until he finally becomes the man. They put it in quotations, the man, and the power behind Top Rank. Crawford now calls upon Top Rank to account for the harms it has inflicted on him and will seek full redress of his damages. So yeah, I'm going to give my thoughts on it, but let's read through everything first. Jurisdictional allegations. Now they're listed here. So it says, let's just say, I'm not going to call it one, but Crawford is an individual who at all relevant times have resided in as a resident. Wait, we don't have to read this stuff. Hold on. Hold on. Some of the stuff we don't have to read. We're going to go to the section that says Top Rank's treatment of black fighters in Arum's racist remarks. Because basically that was just procedural shit. We don't really have to read that. Right now we're on page number 8 in the overall complaint. No, excuse me, number 6. So, Crawford, born September 28th, 1987 in Omaha, Nebraska, the most prominent welterweight professional boxer of his generation with a professional record of 38 wins, 29 by knockout, 0 losses, and multiple world championships in 3 weight classes. He is also a proud black athlete. Top Rank is a boxer promotional company. Bob Arum, the founder and CEO of Top Rank, has been called out as a racist by numerous individuals in the sports of entertainment industry, as he has made millions of dollars off of exploiting individuals of color, especially black boxers such as Crawford. It is painfully clear that Top Rank, especially Arum, judges people based off their race. Arum's sordid history with athletes of color, especially black boxers, and his bias favoring white and Latino fighters are well documented, known throughout the boxing world. So dating back to 1970s and the early 1980s, Arum had repeated collaborations with South Africa's Nationalist Party government. Arum worked closely with the South African businessman Sol Kersner to stage numerous fights in South Africa during apartheid. What's that mean? I need to look that up. Arum made a fortune in South Africa as Africans there were being slaughtered in the street. Arum visited Johannesburg in 1982, not his first trip during the tide of the apartheid and in the violation of the boy. I'm trying to figure out if this is relevant or not. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to skim through shit that's relevant to what we're talking about. Hold on. I mean, see, here's the thing. All right, let's go here then. Arum's racist attitudes are well known in the boxing world. Robert Lee, the former president of the IBF, once said of Arum, he once told me, "We will let the blacks and the Latinos fight in the ring, and we will count the money on the outside." Wow. Boxing world champion Julio Cesar Chavez called Arum a liar and a racist. Boxing world champion Floyd Mayweather said Arum is biased against black fighters, and Arum favors Latino fighters over black fighters because of their drawing power. He tried to install in the minds that blacks can't sell pay-per-view or sell out arenas. Arum frequently plays the race card when it's to his advantage and always in the support of white fighters. Arum responded to Mayweather's comment about Arum's racism by saying, "Boxing is the least racist sport we have." Yet Arum later commented that his white fighter, Kelly Pavlik, could not get a fight on HBO Showtime because Pavlik is white. Arum stated that there is the perception that if you are a white guy, you can't fight, and added, "It is much tougher for a white guy to break through than if Kelly was a different race." Ross Greenberg, president of HBO Sport, disputed Arum's comment and stated it's disgraceful and undignified remark by a disturbed man. Arum himself openly makes bigoted comments in the press, commenting that he expected black promoter Al Heyman would say that having his black fighter Errol Spence fight Crawford. Arum said, "He's going to say, 'Spence, listen to me. Don't listen to the white guys, because if you listen to the white guys, they're going to steer you down the road. Listen to me, brother. We're a part of a brotherhood. And if I tell you not to fight Crawford, I'm telling you not to fight Crawford.'" That's exactly what he will say. Arum commented that mixed martial artists are guys rolling around like homosexuals and are a bunch of skinhead white guys. Okay. World champion mixed martial artist and television host Bas Rutten called Arum a racist. Arum called black world boxing champion Larry Holmes a soft fighter who was focused on money. Arum commented that Mayweather, 50 wins, 27 by knockout, 0 losses, shoots up cars, is not an entertaining fighter and is defensive and a scared fighter. Arum clearly allows his revolting racial biases to impact the fighters he is obliged to promote. Recently top-ranked boxer and light Alexa, Ziggy, stop. I renamed my tablet Ziggy because Alexa would say something on the TV and he'd just start going on. So don't mind me. All right, where did we leave off? Let's see. Hold on, let me see where I left off. Let's start over. Okay, Arum clearly allows his revolting racial biases to impact the fighters he is obliged to promote. Recently, top-ranked boxer and 2-weight class champion Shakur Stevenson, who is a black man, noted that Arum does not promote or support black fighters as well as he does other races. Instead, Arum often blames the black boxer for claiming the boxer cannot sell tickets. While most businesses have become sensitive to the issues of social justice, Tom Rick has not. Shockingly, at a time when most businesses took steps to honor black lives in the wake of the George Floyd murder, Top Rank actually refused to place the Black Lives Matter symbol on the boxing mats in the boxing rings. Less than 2 weeks before this complaint was filed, Top Rank through Arum called WBC interim champion Dillian Whyte a black man greedy for requesting what he believes to be fair dollar amount to fight WBC lineal champion and Ring Magazine heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, a white man. Top Rank and Arum are reportedly openly considering promoting a match between Fury and either Andy Ruiz, an American-Mexican heritage, or Finnish boxer Robert Helenius. The WBC rules allow for a 55-45 split between his world champion and interim titleist, with the ability to adjust as high as 70-30 under the sanctioning body's own review. On information and belief, Arum requested an 80-20 split in favor of Fury. Wilder objected to the split and Arum called him greedy. On information and belief, that's basically hearsay, Arum is openly considering promoting a match between Fury and Andy Ruiz, an American boxer of Mexican heritage, and Finnish boxer Robert Helenius, instead of a bout with Whyte. Arum has made millions off the backs of boxers of color, including black boxers. His racist attitudes pervade especially every aspect of his dealing with black boxers like Crawford. The Buff, Arum's son-in-law, is Top Rank's president. He has sat back and let Arum do his thing and make racist statements like this, like it's the U.S. of the 1950s. He is as much to blame as Arum, if not more so. Okay. Wow. Yeah, they're claiming racism. The next section is going to be the 2018 exclusive promotional rights agreement. So basically, it's what his contract is and how they breached this contract. We're going to read a few more pages of this and talk about it, and then we're going to do a part 2 tomorrow, as well as Mark Magsayo, Gary Russell Jr. Preview. So let me go ahead and say right here, like, the racist part, I don't think that shit's going to hold up. But however, that may be a strategy to, fuck with Arum and Top Rank. But I don't think that's really going to hold up. Now, a lot of people are up in arms because there's two sides, right? Why did you resign if you knew he was a racist all this time? There's another side that's like, yo, Tim Bradley is a fucking coon. Because he's seeing anything happen to him doesn't mean it don't happen. Now, me personally, Arum be saying some fucked up shit, and he cannot be excused because he's a 90-year-old man. You see what I'm saying? And you can't, say, okay, well, and I've said it before because I don't take this shit seriously, but legally, Terence Crawford has every right to sue him. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, how is he your fighter and you just keep saying all this fucked up shit about him in the media? And the stuff that Arum be saying is like, yo, bro, like they say in this lawsuit, it's not 1950s America no more. That's just like a white man calling somebody a Negro. It's like, even though it's not necessarily full-blown racism, it's like, bro, like, oh yeah, that's the Negro male. Like, it's just like, But you have to also acknowledge that Bob Arum does have a history with black fighters saying the same shit. And it is looked at in boxing that black fighters don't sell. That's how people look at it. And even when you look at over on the PBC side, you even see like how Al Heyman knows, like they know what they're doing where they match their black fighters with Hispanic fighters. It's always been like that. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of this, what I'm reading, and I got a lot of legal shit going on myself, so I read and get shit like this all the time. Put it this way, it's more like an expose, like, listen, let's put this all out there. Got you. Thank you, Francisco. Because I was going to sure enough look that up. But anyway, let's get back to it. So, page number 9. There's 23 pages in all. Actually, 20, that's, of the lawsuit. The 2018 exclusive promotional rights agreement, Crawford signed his original promotional rights agreement with Top Rank on or about 2011. On or about August 22nd, 2018, with approximately 2 years left on the prior promotional rights agreement entered into between Crawford and Top Rank, the parties entered an exclusive promotional rights agreement, the 2018 agreement, whereby Top Rank continued to have exclusive rights to promote Crawford's services as a professional boxer. Crawford will provide this court with a copy of the 2008 agreement upon Top Rank's approval. The initial term of the 2018 agreement was to commence on the date of the first bout after signing of the 2018 agreement and continue for a period of 3 years. Following such bout, within no event later than October 13, 2018, unless terminated sooner or extended further pursuant to various provision of the 2018 agreement, legal mumbo jumbo. But basically, they're talking about like when the contract started, and we keep going. Crawford's first bout under the 2018 agreement was in October 13, 2018, 12-round knockout over Jose Benavidez. Okay, so basically that was the new fight under his new agreement, Jose Benavidez. Where Crawford retained his WBO welterweight title and improved his professional record to 34 wins and 0 losses. With this fight, the 2018 agreement's termination date was set at August 12th, 2021. So basically, it started August the 13th. It was supposed to end August the 12th, 2021. So the first fight of this contract was the Jose Benavidez fight. During the term of the 2018 agreement, Top Rank was contractually required to offer Crawford the right to participate in 2 bouts per year. Crawford's compensation under the 2018 agreement was based on the platform that each fight was televised, ESPN or another lineal television channel, ESPN Plus or pay-per-view. Top Rank breaches the 2018 exclusive promotional rights agreement. Pursuant to the 2018 agreement, Top Rank was obliged to offer Crawford 2 fights per year, each of the years between October 2018 and Pursuant to the 2018 agreement, Top Rank was obliged to offer Crawford 2 fights per year for each of the years between October 13th, 2018, October 12th, 2019, October 13th, 2019, October 12th, 2020, October 13th, 2020, and October 12th, 2021. During the first year of the 2018 agreement, Top Rank offered Crawford 2 fights between October 13th, 2018 and October 12th, 2019, fights with Jose Benavidez, October 13th, 2018, and Amir Khan, April 20th, 2019. Crawford was paid $3.5 million for the Benavidez bout, plus $45,000 in training expenses, plus $4.8 million, plus $50,000 in training experiences. Okay, so break it down. He was paid $3.5 for Benavidez, plus $45,000 in training experience expenses. Amir Khan, $4.8 million plus $50,000 for training expenses. During the second year of the 2018 agreement, Top Rank offered Crawford only 1 fight between October 13, 2019, and October 12, 2020. Which was the bout with Aglias Kavalauskas, December the 14th, 2019. Crawford was paid $4 million, plus an additional $50,000 for training expenses. Thus, Top Rank breached the 2018 agreement by failing to offer Crawford a second fight in year 2 of the 2018 agreement. Okay. So, do you think they were probably used like COVID? Basically, he was supposed to get 2 fights a year. 2019 and 2020. In 2020, he only fought Kavalauskas. So you think they're probably going to try to use the pandemic? But that's some fucking great money, bro, in this boxing landscape to not be on pay-per-view. You know, an average of $4 million a fight? Well, the Khan fight was pay-per-view. During the third year of the 2018 agreement, Top Rank offered Crawford 2 fights between October 13th, 2020 and October 12th, 2021. Kell Brook, November 11th, 2020, and Sean Porter, September 2021, for November 20th, 2021. Crawford was paid $3.5 million for the Brook fight and $6 million for the Porter fight. Top Rank also paid Crawford $50,000 in training expenses for the 2 fights. At all times during the 2018 agreement, Crawford was healthy and ready, willing, and able to compete professionally in the professional boxing matches. His average compensation under the 2018 agreement was approximately $4.5 million per bout. Thus, Top Rank owes Crawford no less than $4.5 million for his breach of the 2018 agreement by failing to provide Crawford with his second fight during the second year of the agreement. So basically, he wants money for the fight that they couldn't get him. Now, since we're short on time, we're going to read a little bit more, just the end of page number 10, and then we're going to talk about this more in detail tomorrow, because then, you know, I still got to get my thoughts on it. Top Rank fraudulently entered into and breached the 2019 Kavaliauskas Championship agreement bout. On October 11, 2019, Top Rank and Crawford entered into a championship bout agreement for a 12-round fight for Crawford to defend his WBO championship against Aglidas Kavaliauskas. Both Arum and DeBuff negotiated the Kavaliauskas bout agreement with Crawford on Top Rank's behalf. During the negotiations in or about October 2019, Crawford and his negotiating team informed Arum and DeBuff that he would not take the fight for $4 million being offered to him. Arum and DeBuff informed Crawford that he should take the offer because a fight with Errol Spence was right around the corner, and Top Rank could quickly make a Spence-Crawford fight happen. In fact, Arum and DeBuff said Top Rank would include a Spence bonus in the 2019 Kavaliauskas bout agreement in excess of $900,000. The Arum and DeBuff Spence representations, because they were confident they could make the fight with Errol Spence before the end of 2020. This made Kavaliauskas' fight worth it for Crawford. Based on the Arum and DeBuff Spence agreement, Crawford agreed to fight Kavaliauskas under the money terms offered to him. 2019 Kavaliauskas bout contained the bonus provision that entitled Crawford to a bonus in excess of $900,000, which Top Rank was required to pay Crawford on or before December 31st, 2020, if Errol Spence Jr. was physically able to compete in the boxing match, and Top Rank was unable to offer Crawford a fight with Spence on or before December 31st, 2020. Crawford provided the court with a copy of the Kavaliauskas agreement. We'll stop right there. Talk for a little minute. Well, he does have a little bit of something there from, listen, I'm not no motherfucking lawyer. I know how people say, you know, people, you know, want to play lawyer and shit. And, you know, don't shoot the messenger, all right? But for what I was able to read, there's something there. Because, listen, you know, they can try to say, okay, well, you know, it was COVID, you know, we couldn't get him his fight. But the whole part about promising him the Spence fight, for example, us boxing fans, how can you promise another promoter? And we know how Al Heyman get down. We know how Al Heyman get down. You see what I'm saying? So how are they able to promise, like, listen, we're going to get you the Spence fight? How are they able to promise that? You see what I don't know. That part right there is the issue for me. That's the issue for me. But we're going to have to talk about this more. We're going to do this in like 3 parts. Man, we're going to have to do this in 3 parts. That, you know what's getting juicy. But listen, this is what we're going to go do, guys. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I'm going to upload this in its individual video. And we're going to be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern to talk about more. And yes, we will be streaming live during it's 2022, so we had to get with the times. So during Gary Russell versus Mark Magsayo this Saturday night, we're going to be streaming during the main event. Next week, during the Trevor Bryan, Don King, Makabu card, the 29th, we're going to be streaming during that event. February the 5th, the Thurman versus Barrios, I'm hoping that card happens. We're going to be streaming during that event as well. And that's where we're going forward. And my post-fight videos are going to be included in that. So join me tomorrow. I'm going to set the links up later on today or early tomorrow. And yeah, we're going to continue this. Thanks for watching. Take your time out to subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.